Today I am finding the most out of pocket titles. You know, there's something going to happen when you come across these forms of titles. So on today's video, what getting hit from the back has taught me. A video by BRS. What do you mean getting hit from the back? Let's figure this video out together.
Look, we live in a pipe or be piped world. However, some of us, the few, the proud, have selected both.
We live in a what? What? What the fuck do you mean?
Look, we live in a pipe or be piped.
Come on. We live in a what? Hey man, these YouTube videos sometimes they are a little bit crazy.
World. However, some of us, the few, the proud, have selected both options. Okay, as you guys know, Look, we live in a pipe or be piped world. However, some of us, the few, the proud, have selected both options. Okay, as you guys know, I like getting hit with the strap from time to time. I'll tell you about what it taught me later, but let me tell you about the kind of situations this thing has got me in. I'll never forget being exposed for it. Okay, I was 14, and let me tell you.
No, hey, this is crazy, man. What do you mean, bro? What do you mean?
The craziest thing about me being exposed for this at 14 was that I didn't know I was exposed.
14? Fuck!
Like it was the craziest exposure, because usually, you know, someone finds out something about somebody, right? Now, mind you, I will say, it wasn't necessarily a secret. However, it wasn't something that I was going around telling everybody at the time. Actually, let me start from the beginning, okay? I started talking to this young lady, right? And it was the first interaction in my life, or like dynamic in my life, where I could talk about freakiness, you know what I mean? And I feel like no one ever talks about the impact of this, okay? Because think, you're going through life, you're gooning, you're doing whatever, but that first time where someone likes you, you like them, and y'all can discuss like, hey, I want this to happen between us. It felt great at the time, okay? I felt so liberated. However, in hindsight, things were a little too freaked out, dog. Like me and this young...
How the fuck do you get to that point where you're telling your significant other to actually hit your... goddamn, bro, no way.
Like, we were doing stuff in the school. We literally...
But then, when you think about it, most people are doing crazy things with their partner. A few days ago, he reacted to a video where a chick was saying she actually likes eating men's asses. So, this generation, man, is cooked.
Really, bro? During a band concert. Like, basically, I don't know how other schools work. It's probably similar to this. It's like, your band performs, and then when your band's off, like, you go sit in the crowd and watch the other bands perform. But you sit as a band, right? Like, you can't just sit anywhere. So we were sitting as a band, and Shorty was next to me. And we kind of started doing stuff. I'm not going to get too into the nitty gritty, but is that not insane, bro? Like, there are people around just being like, yeah, bro, like, yeah, we saw you doing that. And I was like, really? And they're like, yeah, bro, we were right next to you. And it wasn't like, no, the lights weren't like on upwards, but like, it wasn't pitch black. And when I tell you, doing hand stuff during the band concert followed me throughout my entire high school career. Okay. Like no one ever let me forget. To this day, people be like, hey, bro, I remember freshman year you did that at the band concert. Anyways, basically the point is things are too freaked out. Okay, so we're open about a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff she told me.
I mean, when you come to Africa and you actually do something like that and people know about it, because what he's talking about is talking about doing the hand stuffs in a dimly lit environment. When in Africa, when you do that, people actually give you points. For a man, you are considered as, oh, this guy is extreme, this is the man, bana. For a chick, people will actually realize that she's loose, and most guys are actually going to hit on her, and it is going to make her think that she has some form of value. But mostly people just think that they are a cheap way out to get that pleasurable feeling. And for the guy, girls might actually be into you because they just want to experiment. So when you come to this side, that's what I've seen happening, rather than people just coming up to you and telling you, yo, bro, I remember you actually did this or during that time.
Probably shouldn't have told me. Now, mind you, nothing like problematic, but like at that age, you do not need to be having discussions about that level of freakiness for any reason. And there was some point I told her, I was like, hey, I kind of like the concept of getting hit from the back. You doing stuff back there. Okay, you putting on a thing and then just going to town on it. Now, mind you, that never really ended up happening with me and her because like we never really had like an extended period alone together. You know what I mean? And
how did you know? How did you know you actually like that? And at this point, we are saying you are young and you have not even tried it. How did you know you like it?
Plus, like, just resource-wise. But she knew the information. I'll never forget it because I remember me and her were kind of on and off, and then I got with her best friend. And she told me when I started dating her best friend, she said, yeah, like, don't tell her about what you're into because, like, she's definitely going to, like, tell everyone, not like me. Because, again, like, she would insist, like, she was, like, a secret keeper or whatever. But come to find out, she was telling everyone everything. So everyone behind my back was like, oh my gosh, Bryce is gay. Like, he wants someone to hit him from the back. Oh my gosh. He wants them to eat it from back there. But I didn't find out until, like, a year later, I believe. Like, when I was dating the girl who called me the N-word, right? She like had known people at my school, and then like she came to me and she's like, oh, but like I heard like you're into this. And I forgot how she said it, but like she was so smooth with it. She was like, oh yeah, like people have been telling me like you want to get hit from the back. And in my mind, I'm like, not even in my mind, like out loud, I was like, yeah, but like, who's telling you that information? Because mind you, she didn't know who my exes were, but like, and I knew the people that she knew at my school. So I'm like, okay, how did those people find out? And it's obviously they knew my ex, so it was a situation. I'm like, bro.
People always talk, Bana. Eh? People always talk. The person you think is your friend has another person who is their friend, and so on and so on. So if you are there sitting and telling people or people who are close to you things and you think, oh, this is my friend, just know eventually information is going to move out, especially if you are in that school setting. Eh? My guy, goddamn. Now everyone has figured out, manze video ni crazy.
Bro, like, how does that not get back to me until now? That's how you know, like, people have hated me my entire life. But, like, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, when I made that video about being a bad person and everyone...
No, people don't hate you. People actually reflect back the information you actually put out. They don't hate you. They are shocked. They are like, what? That's what you want to happen? No one hates you. I mean, if you find people who actually want to do that to you, then they are going to do it to you. But... people, this ideology that people actually hate you because of what you are telling them or what you are outputting, and you're crazy.
I was in the comments are like, oh, so this is why people hate you. Nah, bro, the hating started way before. Like, you understand how hard it is for a high school rumor to never resurface? You know what I mean? Like, I could say something about someone, like in high school, I could say something about somebody and they would find out the next day. At the latest, they'd find out within the week what I was talking about them, or at least the concept of like the rumor that I spread was spread. Like that girl, bro, I dated a lot of people in high school. Like, it sounds, I dated a lot of people in high school. But anyways, that one girl I was dating who everyone thought had syphilis, like she knew people thought she had syphilis.
What?
But the thing is, so many people thought she had it, like she simply couldn't get ahead of it. So I was like, what are you gonna do? So it was the fact that I didn't even know Shorty had told people until this woman who doesn't even go to the school brought it up, like insane to me. And that she got it from someone who wasn't even her. Hold up, I'm gonna get back to it, but I also remember years later, I was like 19 or 20. No, I was like 18 or 19, but I had graduated high school, right? So this is years after me.
Fuck, bro. As I'm thinking about it, this guy's life is fucked. It's full of trauma. It's full of... What? Na tunasemanga manze tumekapitia. Aya, wongo. This guy has actually seen a lot.
Like being with this woman romantically, again, like high school doesn't really count, but like I was 14, okay, keep in mind. Tell me why, I'm gaming with my buddy, right? And then, just my meat comes up in conversation, it just happens. You start talking about your meat. And then he basically said, so-and-so from freshman year said it was average. And I'm like, what? For one, this dude has been my friend for a very long time. I'm like, how is this the first time you're telling me that like you like have like supposedly insider information about my meat? Second of all, do you think my 14-year-old meat is also my 19-year-old meat? No. I just looked it up. You stop growing between ages 16 and 20. And it's like you're carrying around this bruh. Vanessa was not grown up yet. As simple as that, okay? And the thing is, the problem it was for me at the time is I knew I had grown since then, but I didn't know exactly how big I was. Because at that point, I hadn't measured it, okay? All I had was people's word. But when you tell me that, I'm just like, how do meat rumors not get back to me until after high school's already finished? But I do guess I have to say, because me and her were on and off again, okay? And it's like when it's off, it's like, oh my gosh, your meat's small. And it's like, no. And then like when you get back together, it's like, oh my gosh, your meat's big. And you're like, yay. It was one of those.
I feel completely uneasy watching this video.
things. But again, I didn't know the rumors were being spread. And it's like, obviously, when it comes to rumors, like, it doesn't have that same dynamic. Like, once you're on good terms, it's not like she was going to go around being like, guys, no, like, I was lying before. It was big. Like, I was just trying to insult them. Like, how did none of these rumors get back to me? Okay, but anyways, okay, girl called me the N-word. She was willing to hit it from the back. And I think, okay, I'm being completely honest. I definitely made a video on her where I was like, oh yeah, she was homophobic. She always thought I was gay. And I think I completely forgot at that time. I was like, man, like, I don't know why she always thought I was gay. Except like vibe stuff, but I was like, oh, it was probably definitely that. But anyways, her whole thing was she was not willing to eat it from the back, which I was like, oh, darn it. But she was willing to hit it from the back. So I'm like, okay, cool. Never ended up happening with this woman either. Okay, that was the story of my life in high school. It was like I would get into situations with someone who was like low-key with that, but then we're in high school, so it just couldn't happen. By the way, this is so random, but I just have to say, bro, my Wi-Fi's been out for like over an hour. And it's like, I can almost not function, bro. This is actually horrible. But anyways, eventually I get past high school and then I get to college, and that's when I meet. By the way, this is so random, but I just have to say, bro, my Wi-Fi's been out. It's like low-key with that, but then we're in high school, so it just couldn't happen. By the way, this is so random, but I just have to say, bro, my Wi-Fi's been out for like over an hour. And it's like, I can almost not function, bro. This is actually horrible. But anyways, eventually I get past high school and then I get to college, and I can almost not function, bro. This is actually horrible. But anyways, eventually
His wife is out, so he cannot function? What do you mean?
Get past high school and then I get to college, and that's when I meet, people who are with it, and also they have access to the tool. And also, I didn't know where I was going to put this in, but I need to tell you something right now. Okay, I'm with the stuff. There's this one woman where apparently she said that like her like male relative said something, because she mentioned like putting stuff in my behind, right? And then apparently he said something like, oh, well, he definitely loves you, because no man's letting a woman do that if he doesn't love her. And I'm like, please, bro. Please, bro, I pick up a woman on the street right now. If she wants to hit me with a strap and she's a baddie, it's happening. It's going down. Love has nothing to do with it, okay? But what made me mad is, obviously I'm love bombing. So in that situation, like I have to be like, yeah, no, like totally. But anyways, point is, I've been hit a few times, okay? And I have to tell you this right now. There's a lot that you can learn from it. For one, I will just say it goes
What
crazy.
do you mean? There's a lot you can actually learn from it. That's the title. That's the title of the video. What getting hit from the back has taught me, bana. Finally, tell us. Let's see if you actually got some wisdom.
Okay, so it's like when people
talk
about like, oh my gosh, like, you're talking about this publicly, Batman gonna get this out of me, bro. I will never feel embarrassed for being pleasured. Like, if I find pleasure in something, trust me, you're gonna know about it. And here's my thing, bro. Here's my thing about like the concept of like keeping that a secret. And I guess that it did kind of teach me this in the long run. But just overall, I have a policy where I'm like, I would never do something that I would be ashamed of, if that makes sense. Like, particularly in that context, okay? Like, in the bedroom, why would I do something on purpose that, like, I would be embarrassed about if people found out? You know what I mean?
Bro, have you ever had a hard shit? Eh? Then you tell me you are getting pleasure out of that. Then this guy must be a masochist. Eh? He must be deriving pleasure from pain. Na hapo hivyo nyuma, why does it always have to be artists? Eh? He has a full recording studio, but hapo hivyo, god damn, it's crazy, man.
Like, I feel like even if it's something that like I'm like, oh, I might like that, I wouldn't try it if I wouldn't feel comfortable with like people knowing about it. You know what I mean? Like, for a while, that it was how I felt about getting peed on. Like, I was like, I don't know if I can like tell people that. So it's like, it's not going to be a request I make. Because imagine I got up here and I was like, oh man, getting hit with the strap, absolutely not. What? Nothing's supposed to go up there. How as a man could you do that? Da, 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 da. And then like in the back of my mind, I'm knowing like, man, that shit happened last week. And that's why I really don't understand BL men, or like men who like get exposed for anything really, or like anyone who gets exposed. Like, my thing is, if I'm gay and I'm attracted to men, but I don't want people to know I'm gay and attracted to men, I'm not gonna sleep with men. Like, I could live without it. Just like I was saying, bro, like I could live like without getting peed on. Like I was completely okay with that. But then I was like, wait a minute. There's nothing wrong with that. So then I told you guys, and then like, I made it happen. Because again, if you're ashamed of something, it's because it's something you shouldn't be doing, okay? And you need to like look within yourself to be like, wait, why is this something I shouldn't be doing? Now, obviously, there are some things where just like morally, you should not be doing them whatsoever. And those things,
it's just not normal. It's not about even being ashamed. It doesn't make sense to most men when you actually do something like that. And for an African mind, that is considered evil. That is considered taboo. That is considered triggering some certain forms of spirits that will haunt you for the rest of your life. but that is just my background. You guys, you have completely been disconnected from culture, so having some sorts of moral compass or moral ideologies that govern your life that are completely tied to certain cultures, it might be a little bit difficult if this is your mentality. Probably this guy thinks he's woke, and who am I to judge that? He might probably be hey, wacha hata nisibonge walai. What I'm thinking, man, is crazy.
Are very obvious, right? But when we just talk about like general freakiness, like, you know, if you like feet, bro, look, I've never been a feet guy. Now I've involved myself with feet, but I've never been a feet guy. But if you are that kind of guy, it's nothing to be ashamed of. Even if, again, like if people are like, oh man, I'm not into what you're into, what's the shame in it? That's why I don't understand the concept of like a guilty pleasure song, you know, or a guilty pleasure movie, or like, oh, like this thing is my guilty pleasure. I can't let people know that I like it. Why not? Will Smith is my favorite rapper of all time.
What?
I enjoy the music. Like what am I, like, you know what, you see what I'm saying? Like, am I supposed to be embarrassed for enjoying more things that you?
Have you heard the latest Will Smith song? I like pretty girls, girls. God damn, bro. That's your favorite rapper.
Don't enjoy. If anything, it's more embarrassing to not enjoy things. Okay. And I say that as someone who's a hater. I hate a lot of things. I hate a lot of people. Like, me hating something is experiencing less pleasure than you liking that thing. Okay. So again, it's like, you're into feet, I'm not. And I'm like, ew, feet gross. And you're like, feet yum. You're having a better time. And like, why would you feel embarrassed for having a better time than me? Like, I completely understand. Like, when it comes to embarrassment, like, I'll never be like, oh, I don't understand embarrassment. Like, if you do something by accident, if you slip and fall, I'm afraid of tying my shoes in public if they accidentally go untied, because those are like missteps. And I feel like a few missteps can be embarrassing. I still do agree with the concept of it, even in that context, embarrassment being a choice, but like,
why can't you bend in public and tie your shoe? That's a big question.
That makes sense. But what makes no sense to me is doing something on purpose and being like, I don't want people to find this out. Like, that would give me so much anxiety. Okay, like, honestly, like, I feel like if you're, again, in that state,
again, he's not telling us the reason why we are watching this video. He's just stringing us along to watch the whole 36 minutes. And at this point, I don't think I can actually watch the full video. I get the gist of what he's saying. He's trying to come at what is the issue with pleasure? What is the issue with you finding some things pleasurable that most people don't actually find that intriguing to them? Well, pleasure is something that is very intimate to most people, but it is also the one thing that leads to death. Most pleasurable things are the ones that cause us to do the most harmful things to our bodies. Think about sugar. Sugar makes you consistently eat it over and over again to the point that it may actually get you diabetes. Is it pleasurable? Of course, sugar is pleasurable. Another thing, chasing these forms of sexual fantasies. At the end of the day, like what I have learned from my elders in my African community, you will realize that chasing pleasure is not the goal. When you chase pleasure, when you consistently do things that are pleasurable to you, it erodes your honor. It erodes your values. You start figuring out that there's this form of emptiness within you. And when you start feeling empty, then you start doing the thing even more just to fill the void. But you fail to understand that form of pleasure that you are chasing, it is not the issue. The issue is the satisfaction. The issue is understanding why you are actually doing that thing impulsively. The Gekoyo in me, manze, is coming out. These taboo pleasures, as you can hear from the story that this guy has given us, they didn't just start like instantly and someone started hitting him from the back. No, he was actually airing out his ideologies to figure out who's gonna do it. And hey, manzeni crazy, man. I was actually thinking about history yote ya pleasure and satisfaction which leads to life and death, and I actually wrote it on my journal. Let me read you my journal ndio muelewe ni nini nilikuwa nafikiria during that time. it completely relates to this video. So these are my thoughts. Na thoughts zangu manze zinakuwaga crazy. So if I am reading this to you and you actually feel some type of way, shauri yako. Pleasure has been why? Pleasure has been made evil to the public eye. That is a sentence that will get much needed applause in the 1990s. In the 21st century, pleasure is what governs the veil of reality. It has become something to strive for. The moment you are of age, it has become something to strive for the moment you are of age. Moreover, most people are not told the merits of becoming a grown-up. So, often, the age limits... So, after the age limit, the mind explores its new boundaries of freedom and sees to develop in the journey of life. Most pleasures come from a strict belief that makes the act taboo and insatiably enticing. Without these beliefs, then the novelty of pleasure slowly erodes. This creates the need to chase bigger or even more dangerous boundaries to break, and by the time you choose sensibility, you are at a crossroads of life or death. This unending chase reflects to the lack of satisfaction, which points to a vice known as greed, which opens the doors for other skirt of the same cloth. Na saa ingine naandikanga hadi nashangaa bana. I've noticed satisfaction is something you give yourself. The idea that you cannot feel what you've never thought of feeling, either by denial or insistent imagination. The lack of begins simply, just by comparison, and the avoidance of taking space for gratitude. These all combined slowly make routines boring. Routines like being a normal guy, being a normal man. Which routines are a way of life. Pleasure or novelty are intermittent. They are not the baseline of everything. But if you base your life around pleasure, then you're really going to suffer. One path leads to death, the other leads to life. The choice is yours. Hapo hivyo nimeongelea patterns. You see patterns, the universe works on patterns. The sun will never decide to follow the route of the moon. The sun will never decide to change faces like the moon. The sun has its own path. And its own path is what makes it the sun. So there are always boundaries around some forms of ideologies, if you ask me. That is what I will actually tell you. So if you are a man and you like these forms of things, I don't even think women should actually enjoy those forms of things. But maybe that's just because, and only because, I am cut from an African cloth and a cultured society. You guys let me know what you think about this whole video. You can actually go and watch it on his channel if you find it intriguing to watch to the end. I've only watched like 9-10 minutes. And the video is what getting hit from the back has taught this guy. The channel name is BRS. Other than that, Mrs. Endelea. YouTube thinks you might be interested in the video on your screen at the moment. Click on that video. I'm waiting to see you on the next one.